You place your hand on your chest and feel a steady rhythm. Beat, beat, beat. That rhythm is produced by one of the most hard-working organs in the human body, the heart. Every minute, your heart pumps blood through an enormous network of blood vessels, supplying oxygen and nutrients to your cells, while carrying away carbon dioxide and other waste products. But how does this muscular organ create enough force to keep blood circulating throughout the body? The human heart is approximately the size of a closed fist. It is located in the chest between the lungs, slightly toward the left side of the body. Although it may look like a single pump, the heart actually functions as two coordinated pumps working together. The right side receives oxygen-poor blood from the body and pumps it toward the lungs. The left side receives oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and pumps it to the rest of the body. Inside the heart are 4 chambers. The 2 upper chambers are called the atria. They receive blood entering the heart. The 2 lower chambers are called the ventricles. They generate the force needed to pump blood out of the heart. The right atrium receives oxygen-poor blood returning from the body through 2 large veins, the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. The superior vena cava carries blood from the head, neck, arms and upper body. The inferior vena cava carries blood from the abdomen, pelvis, legs and lower body. When the right atrium fills, the blood passes through the tricuspid valve and enters the right ventricle. The tricuspid valve acts like a one-way door. It allows blood to move from the atrium into the ventricle, but prevents it from flowing backward. When the right ventricle contracts, it pushes the blood through the pulmonary valve and into the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery carries the oxygen-poor blood away from the heart and toward the lungs. Inside the lungs, the pulmonary artery branches into smaller and smaller blood vessels until the blood reaches tiny capillaries surrounding microscopic air sacs called alveoli. Here, gas exchange occurs. Carbon dioxide moves from the blood into the air sacs, where it can be exhaled. At the same time, oxygen from the air you breathe moves into the blood. The newly oxygenated blood then travels from the lungs back to the heart through the pulmonary veins. These veins deliver the oxygen-rich blood into the left atrium. From the left atrium, the blood passes through the mitral valve and enters the left ventricle. The left ventricle has the thickest muscular wall of all 4 chambers because it must generate enough pressure to pump blood around the entire body. When the left ventricle contracts, it forces blood through the aortic valve and into the aorta, the largest artery in the human body. The aorta branches into many arteries that distribute oxygen-rich blood to the brain, heart, kidneys, muscles, skin, and every other organ. As the arteries move farther away from the heart, they divide into smaller vessels called arterioles and then into microscopic capillaries. Capillary walls are extremely thin. This allows oxygen and nutrients to move from the blood into surrounding tissues. At the same time, carbon dioxide and other metabolic wastes move from the tissues into the blood. The oxygen-poor blood then enters small veins called venules. These join together to form larger veins, which eventually return the blood to the right side of the heart. The entire process then begins again. But the heart cannot pump effectively unless its chambers contract in the correct sequence. One complete sequence of filling and contraction is called the cardiac cycle. The cycle has 2 main phases, diastole and systole. During diastole, the heart muscle relaxes, the chambers expand and fill with blood. During systole, the heart muscle contracts. The ventricles squeeze blood out through the pulmonary artery and the aorta. The familiar lub-dub sound of a heartbeat is mainly produced by the closing of the heart valves. The first sound, lub, occurs when the tricuspid and mitral valves close as the ventricles begin to contract. The second sound, dub, occurs when the pulmonary and aortic valves close after blood has been pumped out of the ventricles. These valves are essential because blood must move in only one direction. If a valve does not close properly, some blood may leak backward. If a valve becomes narrow, the heart must work harder to push blood through it. What controls the timing of each heartbeat? The heart contains its own natural electrical conduction system. The heartbeat normally begins in a small group of specialized cells located in the right atrium. This structure is called the sinoatrial node, or SA node. The SA node is often described as the heart's natural pacemaker. It generates an electrical signal that spreads across both atria, causing them to contract and push blood into the ventricles. The electrical signal then reaches another structure called the atrioventricular node, or AV node. The AV node
briefly delays the signal. This short delay gives the ventricles enough time to fill with blood before they contract. The signal then travels through specialized fibers in the interventricular septum and spreads throughout the ventricular walls. This causes the ventricles to contract from the lower region upward, efficiently pushing blood toward the pulmonary artery and the aorta. Although the heart can produce its own rhythm, the brain and nervous system can adjust the heart rate. During exercise, fear, stress, or excitement, the heart beats faster and more forcefully. This increases the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to active tissues. During sleep or relaxation, the heart rate usually slows because the body requires less oxygen and energy. The number of times the heart beats per minute is called the heart rate. The amount of blood pumped by one ventricle during a single contraction is called the stroke volume. When heart rate is multiplied by stroke volume, the result is called cardiac output, the total amount of blood pumped by the heart each minute. During intense physical activity, cardiac output can increase greatly to meet the body's increased demand for oxygen.
The heart muscle also needs its own supply of oxygen-rich blood. This blood is delivered through the coronary arteries, which branch from the base of the aorta and spread across the surface of the heart. If a coronary artery becomes blocked, part of the heart muscle may be deprived of oxygen. This can damage the muscle and cause a heart attack. Healthy blood vessels, regular physical activity, balanced nutrition, sufficient sleep, stress management, and avoiding tobacco can all help protect the cardiovascular system. So, how does the heart pump blood? It uses 4 coordinated chambers, one-way valves, strong muscular contractions, and precisely timed electrical signals. The right side sends oxygen-poor blood to the lungs. The lungs add oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. The left side then sends the oxygen-rich blood throughout the body. This continuous circulation keeps every organ supplied with the substances it needs to survive. Your heart may be only the size of your fist, but it works every second of every day, pumping blood, maintaining circulation, and keeping you alive. Please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Global 24 for